Hey people, so this is going to be sort of another project at some point. I've had this a little while. This will be a part of another project. At the moment my aim still is to sort out the house system, the Logitech Z5500 with this ring, so I can put the focus speaker in, focal speaker in. So this ring's, as you can probably see, slightly smaller, so the ring comes in a bit more. That covers the focal speaker, so I then need to drill holes into this for the JVC speaker because they match up with the Logitech speaker, and then do a separate set of holes for the focal. So some people probably say, why don't you just do a set of holes for both, you know, in one shot, so you just do one set of holes for the focals and go through the sub box. The problem is it doesn't fit through, so in order for me to do a nice clean seal with the speaker on the box and not have any if buts or maybes that there's not areas sealed or shut properly, or you know, it possibly ripping out, the best way is to do it this way. So you put the screws in for this separate and then do another set of screws slightly off center for the focal. So that's what I'll be doing. So what I'll do, put the speaker in, set of holes, widen the holes for the screws. They don't have to be all the way through, but at least the guides there, it's already started, so I know what holes are what. And then do tiny holes for the focal speaker, because once this is in, it's not coming back out, and the focal speaker will have the small holes sat there ready for when I complete the job. Basically, that's my aim. So that's what I'll be doing. I may spray this black at some point as well, just to hide it, but that's at some point later. But that's the gist of what I've got to do. Once that's done, I'll need to create a seal on both sides. So on the original sub box, so that this creates a seal here, so maybe silicone or some sort of adhesive or something, and then when I put the speaker on top, that's up to me. I could put like a rubber ring around it or something. I could just leave it alone. I don't know, we'll see, and then that'll go on here sorted. So yeah, let's get to it. It's quite a tight fit, this thing. It didn't quite fit in properly. That's good. That's what we want. So when this sits in the sub box, this is slightly off center, so we're going to start off just putting this in, and then when I do the focal speaker, we'll put it slightly off center, so instead of it being parallel with this, it'll be slightly off. That way when I put it in my sub box using the original holes, it will be flush. That's the aim. Hey people, so of you that want to know where my my Logitech Z5500, my old sub replacement, is ended up, it's here. So this is the one that I had from back in 2013 in my Z5500. I thought I'd give it a harsh retirement, so I'll be using it with my car amplifier I've got. So just to let you know what kind of box I was running this in, I was running this in a sealed box. So this is 3/4 inch MDF sealed box. I went through the hassle of porting this, so I can't give you the box measurements, but just know that the port that I'm running on this, which I've had to have manually put in, and these, because I haven't even screwed this in yet, but they're in there tight. That's a 100mm port that I've got on this 10-inch sub. So what I find a lot of people do when they port these boxes themselves, number one, the wood is not thick enough, so you need to make sure the wood's thick enough, and second, the port needs to be big enough to sustain the sub. What I find is people tend to put a little 3-inch port here. I mean, that's not 3-inch port, maybe that's like an inch port, or maybe 3/4 inch port. It's not enough. You need a big monster. For anything over about 300 watt, I mean, this sort of size is ideal. Again, it depends on the size of the box. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the science of how ports work and the rest of it. Yeah, that's the retirement of the Z5500 speaker. I mean, I've had this thing for about 9 years, 10 years, the speaker. So it's done well on the Logitech system. A lot of people were telling me back then, you can't run a car sub in a house system. I proved you wrong. I've just run this for a decade. So it is what it is. It's fine. I'm gonna get this all assembled and get it in my car. Yeah, the one that's in my Logitech system now is that focal speaker, which is aimed more at quality, whereas this is more it just is. It's just a cheap speaker. So as you can see, still pretty dusty in there from when I ported it. Well, when I had it ported, I didn't do it myself, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a tight fit in there. Same with the little tool on the side there. Because of the size of the box, I was tempted to expand this to a 12-inch speaker. So raise this by 1 inch and expand the hole to take a 12-inch speaker. I may do that in future. I mean, the box is probably a little bit on the small side, but if I get a speaker designed for a small enclosure, I'll probably get away with it, just about. But for now, running the 10. So